What would you grade this series so far for the Celtics? For A to F, what would you grade? I know we gave player report cards so far.
Wait, hold on. Off of what scale though? Off of entertainment scale? Off of a Celtic
Okay, not
standpoint?
just in terms of most optimal performance of the Celtics. So
Ooh.
on a scale of like the Celtics are blowing the Magic out of the building to we're actually losing to the Orlando Magic right
I'd
now.
give
Entertainment wise, I could care less. I just want to see
yeah,
this
okay.
team win.
C. I think Boston gets a C because you know what? A lot of it is less so of so Boston from an offensive standpoint have been pretty putrid. Again, this is one of the best offenses in the league, and what we've cracked 109 was our highest total in game 2.
Yeah.
93 tonight, and then if I'm not mistaken, 103 game 1. So from an offensive standpoint, it's kind of like okay, like they're just barely doing what they need to do. From a defensive standpoint, a lot of it isn't much so in my head what's Boston's doing, and a lot of it is what Orlando's lacking. And again, it's just a I'd give them a C because a C plus because again, defensively I think they're doing what they need to do in terms of Franz and Paulo and making them become inefficient. Because again, 40% from the floor, 30 points on what I believe 22 shots from Franz. It's not the best. It's not the worst, but it's not the best. So I do think they're doing a good job at keeping those two guys inefficient. But what about you? I'd give them a C plus.
Now, see, after the first two games, I would probably be leaning C plus or B minus. Right
Right.
now, I'm leaning towards a C minus. And I think it looks a little bit different if we win tonight. If we win tonight,
Right.
go, oh, resilient win, came back, all these great things, right?
Championship DNA showed up.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. See, that's why I had that tweet prepared. Where let's bring back this tweet. This is why I had this tweet prepared. I'm like, oh, here we go. The Magic. Oh, 95.6%. They had all this chance to win, and the Celtics came back and they won the game. But obviously, that didn't happen tonight. But see, this is where I just talking about all the numbers and the X's and O's and the game plan, all these things, right? I'm gonna throw that all out the window after tonight's win, right? When I'm grading the team, or I should say, not tonight's win. That's the problem here. Tonight's game. Throw
Mhm.
all the game plan, X's and O's, all the talk in between, right? The margins. When it comes to the playoffs and winning a championship, you have to win ball games. You just have to simply win
Win
ball games
ball.
and do it in an optimal manner, in an efficient manner, and do it where you're not tiring yourself out and potentially losing games because of that. These games for the Celtics, they two physical battles in games 1 and 2. They won. That is amazing. That's great. That's the whole point. Tonight, because they lose this game, that's the biggest factor here for me. Like you could pull silver linings out of this game. Obviously, we pulled a million bad things out of this loss for the C's. But just the worst thing about it is playing an extra game on Tuesday back at the Garden against this squad because on Sunday you could be looking to close this out. If you won tonight, if you're the Celtics, I'm questioning the morality of the Magic. I question after game 2, but after a game 3, if you really gave Boston your best shot, now we talk about it has their best shot actually came against Boston, but saying tonight's matchup, that crowd's going crazy. The guys on the Magic, they're confident. The Celtics, they're not playing their best brand of basketball whatsoever. The Magic are winning all the hustle categories in which they need to win. They're winning all of the extra possession categories they need to win and they still lose to the Celtics after game 3, if the Celtics would have came out with this win tonight, I think you could have been looking at game 4 going, okay, yeah, you expect the Magic to fight for their season, but they've already been fighting for their season the first 3 games, and they have not been able to overcome what the Celtics have. And that game 4 changes. Obviously, it changes a ton. Now, see, in game 4, if the Celtics win tonight, it's all pressure on the Magic. It's all, well, you're playing for your playoff lives and the Celtics. It's like we have a 3-0 series lead. We have 4 games to close this out. Now all of a sudden Sunday, that's where this loss again is just terrible. Sunday, that turns Sunday's game 4 into an actual intense game for the Celtics. Otherwise, if you're up 3-0, that's where you could maybe talk yourself into okay, the Magic could win game 4 because they might come out trying to save their season and the Celtics might take their foot off the might take their foot off the gas, might take their hand off the throttle just a little bit, knowing they have 4 games to close out the series, which would not be the correct mentality. But we do see
Right.
teams fall into that every now and then. Uh, but now you lose game 3, and it's like game 4 is going to be wildly intense because Orlando, for as many points as they haven't scored this series and as many times as they've been playing from behind in this series, they're going to have a chance on Sunday to tie this thing up 2-2 and make it a best of 3. And under that scenario, they they're already in a position where they've found success this series. They've grabbed a game, they've competed with the Celtics. But if you let them go even further, if you let the Magic go even further and grab that game 4 and make it a best of 3, I mean, we already saw in 2023 how that affected the Celtics in round 1
Right.
against the Atlanta Hawks. That comes up yet again, especially, it just grinded my gears last night seeing the Oklahoma City Thunder come back from 29 points down because I'm sitting there going, oh, they have to play game 5 too, or game 5 for OKC. It's like, yeah, we right there. It's like OKC plays a game 5. Boston, they don't play a game 5. Well, instead, in 24 hours ago, we're sitting here thinking OKC's playing a game 5 and Boston has a chance to sweep. Well, the script is completely flipped since then. I mean, OKC, they're probably not playing a game 5 against the Memphis Grizzlies, as the Grizzlies seemingly gave them their best shot in that game 3. Now they don't have Ja Morant. And the Celtics, they come out and lose in Orlando, and now the script completely flipped over to the Celtics, where they're playing a game 5 on Tuesday, and the Thunder on the other side, they're going to be potentially sweeping their first round series. They don't have to go on, they don't have to travel back and play another game at their home yet again. And that's a big thing in these playoffs. We might not even face the Thunder. For as much conversation we're giving the Thunder, we might not even face them. But I'll say, just looking at the other competition out there, you want to gain your advantages anywhere you can get them in the playoffs, because it's a make or miss league. The margins are very, very thin at the end of the day. Even last year, I mean, look at that Pacers series. That Pacers series could have easily been 3-1 Pacers, and it was 4-0 Celtics, thankfully, at the end of that one. But those are the kind of margins you're dealing with in the playoffs. And the Celtics, they cannot just throw them. They can't be throwing away their extra opportunities and their opportunities, as we saw in 2023, how much that bit them this season. Not this playoff run hasn't bit them yet, but these are the type of games, if say next round come out and lose a game 2 or lose a game 1, we go, oh well, we played an extra game. Remember in that Orlando series,
Right.
played a tough physical extra game 5 in that Orlando series. These kind of things definitely matter. That's why they deserve the conversation from us and all of Celtics Nation. I know people, they still feel confident about the Celtics winning the series, but at the same time, you cannot be throwing away extra possessions. You cannot be turning the ball over 20 times in the playoffs. You can't be taking bad shots. You can't be allowing a team to shoot 9 more times than you, the way the Celtics did tonight, and out rebound yourself. It just, and every aspect too of that, just allowing Orlando to play to their advantage. Cannot do that later on in time in the playoffs and expect to find success. Thankfully, it's only in the first round. Thankfully, we're only talking about a 5-game scenario in which we've seen in the past. But you don't want to. It's like the habits, right? It's like, oh, here are the bad habits. Like, all right,
Right. You don't want these creeping up.
nip them right now before they become a consistent thing and they actually affect something more serious later on down the line. And I'll say this too, in terms of the doubting the team that they'll respond, I think 100% game 4 they'll respond from this
Of course.
performance, because they cannot be happy right now. The team, whatever they give in the podium, the press conference, whatever they're saying right now, they cannot be happy with this one. If we're not happy with this one, we're going, my goodness, what is going on here? They're doing the same thing because they're out there on the floor. They know they can win this series against the Magic. They know they can do it in a Hamley fashion, and it just hasn't quite happened yet. Will it happen
Right.
in the future? We'll have to see going into game 4.